Bulletcast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I have in studio former Big Time Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Hawkeye Shane Kody. How's it going there, sir?
Hey, Podfather, how you doing, man? Thank you for having me on.
Long time no see.
Hey, long time.
Long time. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about ring psychology and where how do you put together a match and like the facial expressions and everything that goes with the art of professional wrestling. So when you're putting together a match, do you have like specific ideas you want to do, or are you kind of just like, oh, let's just do this on the fly?
Well, you know, when you get into this business, it's a 6-month process to go through the training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you learn the whole business, you know, to get into the business, and you learn everything in it. And it takes many years to keep it going from there, you know, to learn. And you never stop learning. I've been doing it for 32 years, and I still learn every time I go out there.
Yeah. I mean, but were there ever any instances where you wanted to have like, because I remember people say Macho Man, Randy Savage, he liked to have everything planned out, but then guys like Eddie Guerrero, where they just want to just do everything off the fly. Are you kind of, do you like to have it planned, or do you
Well, I guess like how you just said, the fly. I just go out there and we just
wing
go,
it?
go by,
Just
just go.
go?
Yeah.
All right, what do you prefer, heel or babyface?
Well, you know, I was heel for many years, but then turned babyface, and I like the babyface better.
Really? Most people like heel better.
Well, I liked that at first until I went babyface, and then babyface is, you know, it's. I like to get the, you know, being the babyface, then you get to mingle with the fans more. You get with the kids, and that's what it's all about for me, is the kids and the wrestling
Get to
fans.
make it more intimate for
and
them,
when
yeah.
you were heel, everyone wants to fight you, and they're egging your car out in the parking lot, or they doing this and doing that, and you're getting threats over the phone, getting people's calling. They want to, you know, want to fight you. And you go somewhere and they want to fight. They want to do this and then fight. You're
Really?
babyface, you're the hero.
You must have been the best heel in the business if they're egging your
No,
car.
I wasn't the best. No, I wasn't that. But it's just that's what I, you know, had to go through.
Oh, wow. All right, so we all know professional wrestling hurts. What is the worst bump you have ever taken?
Oh, I take the worst bumps every night I'm in the ring.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
Is
you
there
know,
one-
it's I've had fingers broke, dislocated. I've had 5 ribs broke, nose broke, teeth knocked out, toes broke. Lower back problems, hip problems, knee problems. You know, it takes a wear and tear on your body over the years.
But is there like one where you just like, oh my God, that's the worst one I've ever taken? Does one stand out to you?
No, not that one that stood out, but there's been many of them.
Many of them? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you know.
All right. So let's talk about big time wrestling. How long have you been there exactly?
This weekend that just passed, it'll be 21 years.
21
This weekend just passed. It was a 21-year anniversary for Big Time Wrestling.
I've been to a few big time wrestling shows. I love it. The match, Teddy Hart versus Joey Ryan, one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was glad I was in the house for that one. But so let's talk about retirement, because guys like Jericho, they say, oh, I'm not going to have this special send-off. One day I'm just going to be done. So are you the guy that's going to have like the send-off match, the standing ovation, or one day it's just going to be your last one, you're just going to be done?
Well, you know, that's up to the boss.
It's up to the boss.
Wrestling's, you know, it starts out to being like a fantasy. It's more or less, you know, you're wrestling at the Cow Palace in front of 20,000 people. You're wrestling in these auditoriums, you know, 15,000, 7,000, 5,000, on and on. It's like a fantasy. And then, you know, after you get into after you're into the business for years, then it gets like a sickness, you know. Yes, maybe I should have retired 10 years ago, but I can't say goodbye.
Yeah.
So I'm probably one of those guys where they're going to wheel in the wheelchair down to the ring and roll me into the ring before I retire. That or the boss is going to get rid of me. But, you know, I see the end of the road, you know, and I'm just slowing down before I get there. Because I want it to last. I don't want to say goodbye to it, because every time I go out there, it's so much fun, and I love this business. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and I don't want it to end.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that last match for you is in about another 10 to 15 years.
Well, that's what I'm hoping too.
When it happens, I go buy you a few beers, a few brewskis.
Well, we could do that too, but you know, I've had a lot of fun over the years. It's been a lot of fun, and you know, like when I got into the business, I just wanted to do it as a hobby, and I think back, and I wish I would have pushed myself a little harder, and could have took it a little farther than I did. You know, but back then when I was just started with wrestling and stuff, you know, I was working Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, and
Because you're
that was enough because there was so much work back then, and I was happy with that.
yeah,
But
because
I wish I could have took it a little bit serious.
your father, he did it full time, correct?
My dad, you know, he got in the business back in 61, 62, and yeah, he, you know, Ray Stevens, Pepper Gomez, and Kenji Shibuya
Yeah.
brought him into the business, and he did it for a living. That's what he did, and you know, he wrestled for every single promoter out there, and he traveled the whole world, you know, and he did it for a living. And you know, I wish I could have did a little bit longer because it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been a good time, times that I'll never forget, and a lot of good memories, and it's been fun, really fun.
After our last talk, I went back and watched some of your dad's stuff. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm a guy, like, I was born in '96. I grew up with, like, the Spot Fest and the high flying, but I can go back and watch, like, Buddy Rogers and Pat O'Connor. I can go back and watch that stuff and really enjoy the art form that is professional wrestling. And watching some of your dad's matches, I was still mind blown.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, back then you didn't have to go up ladders and jump off ladders and go through barbed wire, this and that and this.
Have
But
Japanese death
yeah,
matches.
it's just changed so much. It's
Yeah.
a little bit overboard now, but back then it'll never be like it was then.
Yeah. Well, Shane, I'd like to thank you for being on again.
Hey, thank you. It was a pleasure, and have you back on.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, after this break, we were going to have BTW promoter Kirk White in the building.